Let us pray. God of new beginnings, we delight in the light of this new day born out of your love. As you conduct a spiritual EKG of our hearts, you know what we need before we even ask. Amid our excitement, we slow down and watch ourselves pass by. And as we watch, we see some who are ecstatic and others who are unsure. We see some still wondering how they were even accepted into Duke, while others are quite confident that Duke made the right decision to accept them. Some miss home, others are very glad to finally be away from home. Whatever our state of mind, may we experience strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow. We receive today as a gift, knowing that tomorrow is no guarantee. We receive the beauty of this great towering church as a foreshadowing of the beautiful journey ahead. Fill our days with the creative colors of stained glass windows, even as the southern thunderstorms roll. Let music fill our lives and resonate like cathedral organs amid the global cacophony of violent refrains. Ignite our imaginations to rise to heights like these ceilings, reaching beyond ourselves to find our true selves. And as we sit in the wooden pews or touch the hallowed stones, may we remember the past with an eye toward the future, recalling the great cloud of witnesses who've made it possible for us to be here. We acknowledge that we are not self-made because someone paid for us, prayed for us, encouraged us, taught us, and mentored us to bring us to this day. As we remember that we are not alone, let the Blue Devil joy of today through the community of faculty, administrators, staff, and students lead us to a deeper sense of gratitude for every good gift, including this university and one another. In this fractured world, bind us together with cords that cannot be broken, and let these new students be remembered not because they partied hard or were the most innovative or creative, but because they knew what it meant to learn, live, and love in community. Amen. Please be seated.
As president of Duke University, I am delighted to welcome you to the official start of your first year as Duke graduate and professional students. Since you're graduate students, this is not your first convocation experience, nor is it mine, not even today. This morning, I gave a very different address to a new class of Duke undergraduates. And though you both share a distinctly Duke curiosity and exceptional qualifications, I think I can go easier on the life advice this afternoon, particularly as it relates to navigating roommate squabbles. We are gathered for this brief moment of celebration in Duke Chapel, where we mark the most joyful and reverent events as members of the Duke community. It is fitting, then, that you should start your Duke careers here, with the late summer light pouring in through the stained glass windows, focused and refracted in kaleidoscopic diversity. Today, you are not simply setting off on your graduate studies. You are joining a Duke family that is hundreds of thousands strong, made up of students, faculty, staff, alumni, and very many friends. You are also following those before you who have come here to have their intentions and perspectives focused and refracted into new ideas that have helped make the world a better place. That is our great promise as an institution and your great promise as graduate and professional students. While you're at Duke, I hope you will take full advantage of the many wonderful opportunities this campus affords you. There are few times in life when you will be surrounded by such astounding diversity of thought and perspectives, when you will have not only the license but the charge to explore new ideas. Durham has much to offer you and your families as well. I'm confident that you will have a blast checking out the farmers market and restaurants downtown, taking in shows at DPAC or Motorco, hiking along the Eno River. Now, at times like this, I can't help but reflect on my own experience in graduate school. I so treasured my undergraduate years that I wondered whether it could get any better. Well, indeed, it can. I remember years later visiting the campus, a place that we might call the Duke of the West, where my wife and I lived, and this time touring with our 2 kids in tow, who were then about 6 and 8 years old. We stopped in front of the small apartment where we had lived for 4 years, and peering through a chain link fence at our old building, my 8-year-old daughter looked around intently and she said, "Wow, life must have been rough then." And in surprise, we looked around again, and we had to admit, actually, that our place on campus did look a little like a tenement. But we assured our daughter that no, life was not rough then. We loved our time there. We loved every minute. We loved the thrill and the opportunity presented at that special time in our lives. Our years on campus will forever seem as bright and hopeful as the dappled light through the eucalyptus trees, a light not unlike that flowing through these stained glass windows here today. So as we embark on a new academic year, I have every hope and confidence that you will similarly love your years here in Durham. I hope you embrace every moment of opportunity. I hope you take the time now and again to enjoy the light streaming through this chapel, the beautiful dappled light filtered through Duke Forest, and the lights of Durham on warm spring evenings. I hope that, above all, you enjoy the very bright lights of research and advanced professional education at one of this nation's great universities. Welcome to the Duke community. I'm delighted by the light that you will bring to this campus and to the world. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I saw many of you yesterday morning at the new graduate student orientation, so I welcome you back, and for the professional students who are joining us, welcome to you too. One of the nice things about being graduate dean at Duke University is that you get to introduce incoming graduate and professional students to the faculty. And today it is my pleasure to introduce to you, as our speaker, Dr. Richard J. Powell, who is the John Spencer Bassett Professor of Art and Art History at Duke University, where he has taught since 1989. He is an authority on African American art and culture. He studied at Morehouse College and Howard University before earning his doctorate in art history at Yale. At Duke, Professor Powell teaches courses in African art, the arts of the African diaspora, and contemporary visual studies. He has written extensively on topics ranging from primitivism to postmodernism. His current book project will examine satirical cartoons, paintings, and films by African American artists from the Harlem Renaissance to the present. From 2007 to 2010, he served as editor-in-chief of the Art Bulletin, the world's leading English language journal in art history. Professor Powell has also organized art exhibitions that have appeared in major museums and galleries nationally and internationally, such as the Studio Museum in Harlem, the Whitney Museum of American Art, the Smithsonian American Art Museum, the Art Institute of Chicago, the Los Angeles County Museum of Art, London's Whitechapel Art Gallery, and our own, the Nasher Museum of Art at Duke. His work has been recognized by numerous grants, fellowships, and awards. Among them, in 2013, he received the Lawrence A. Fleischman Award for scholarly excellence in the field of American art history from the Smithsonian's Archives of American Art. In 2016, he was honored at the College Art Association's annual conference as the year's most distinguished scholar. And this October, he will be officially inducted into the American Academy of Arts and Sciences. I give to you Dr. Richard Powell.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Dean McClain. Graduate and professional school students, on behalf of the entire Duke University community, I welcome you and I extend my warmest regards to you on this auspicious occasion. It is an honor for me to offer you this official greeting, especially in this special place and at this special time in your lives. As an art historian, I would be remiss if I did not point out to you that where we are now, Duke University Chapel, is not only a special and sacred space, but architecturally and culturally significant. Duke University Chapel is one of the world's finest examples of Gothic Revival architecture, an ecclesiastical style whose imposing structures and lofty interiors encourage visitors to psychologically ascend and spiritually marvel at the wonders of faith and creation. A major part of my astonishment around the phenomenon of creation in the Duke University Chapel, both divine and human, surely springs from the story of the chapel's architect, Julian Francis Abel, who, despite his African-American heritage, was enlisted in the late 1920s to design a signature building on a racially segregated university campus in the American South at a cost of $2.3 million. It is worth noting that Julian Abel, the first Black graduate of the University of Pennsylvania's architecture department, was preeminently qualified to design this chapel, having already played a key role in designing such American landmarks as Harvard University's Widener Memorial Library, the Philadelphia Museum of Art, and New York University's Institute of Fine Arts. One cannot sit in this chapel, or for that matter, walk across this campus without marveling at the idea that the founders of this university were able to set aside that era's racial prejudices and social boundaries, to hire an accomplished Black architect, thoroughly trained in the Beaux-Arts traditions of European architecture and design, to realize their dream for a distinctive corpus of first-tier educational facilities with this beautiful, soaring, and spiritually uplifting architectural statement at its center. Clearly, Duke University has come a long, long way from its less enlightened beginnings in matters of race. And yet, Julian Abel's contributions to Duke's genesis speak to the glimmers of progressive thinking even in those earlier years. It would also be careless of me to not mention that among the many cultural luminaries who have stood in the transept of the Duke University Chapel, one in particular, the acclaimed poet, dramatist, and memoirist Maya Angelou, has a special place in this chapel's history, as well as for our purposes now in this convocation ceremony. From 1994 until 2013, Maya Angelou served as Duke University's freshman convocation speaker, welcoming the newly minted Dukies with poems, songs, reminiscences about her artistic career and political activism, and her compelling words of wisdom. Throughout Angelou's consecutive 20-year appearance here in Duke Chapel, I would occasionally attend the convocations, and like my amazement at the Julian Abel story, I was moved by her unfailing ability, time and time again, to use that occasion to warmly welcome the entering freshman classes and convey powerful and optimistic messages. A confession: I made Maya Angelou's acquaintance about a decade after she published her literary classic, I Now Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. And yet, after decades after that initial meeting and our numerous conversations over the years, I remained in awe of this remarkable woman who, despite all of the odds in life that one could imagine holding her back, created an extraordinary existence for herself and a life dedicated to art, learning, and service. Thank you for indulging me to offer my supplications to those Duke University Chapel spirits. I would now like to offer some thoughts about what higher learning means to me and what your forthcoming graduate and professional school life might encompass. Let me state at the outset that becoming a university professor and settling into what could be described as the scholar's life was not a hurdle-free path, nor was it a carefully calculated, well-thought-out route. Despite many assumptions to the contrary, career fulfillment for most academicians is hard-earned and at various steps along the way easily disrupted for a variety of reasons. This means that you must possess fortitude and a considerable amount of will to make it through graduate and professional school. Success in the academy also requires a good portion of luck. And while some of you might think that, alas, good fortune is something that just happens and isn't guaranteed, I am a firm believer that providence isn't entirely serendipitous, but rather something that can be dreamt, cultivated, made a part of your world, and in essence, brought into existence by you. When I talk about imagining and fostering a conducive environment for luck and academic well-being, I'm not talking mumbo-jumbo. I'm talking about visualization and preparation, which are the corresponding ingredients for achieving any goal in life, including finding a rewarding place in the academy. I don't have to tell you that visualization, an idea now fundamental to science, engineering, technology, and education, is derived from the arts, the humanities, and other modes of imaging and creative work in our culture. The ability to picture in your mind not necessarily your entire life in fine detail, but the next small step you might take, or your eventual appearance in front of your professors and fellow classmates, or the anticipated tenor of your voice at a moment of truth, is indispensable for successfully navigating the actual future event itself. The art of visualization requires the ability to imagine not just ideal prospects, but an unanticipated and challenging future, an outlook necessitating skills of improvisation and fast thinking to come through any potential adversities. I don't have enough time this afternoon to sing the praises of perfecting your skills of improvisation in graduate and professional school, but being able to contend with the unexpected in terms of disappointments and often correspondingly totally unforeseen out-of-the-blue opportunities can make the difference between scholastic malfunction and pedagogic triumph. We build our temples for tomorrow, wrote the poet Langston Hughes. Strong as we know how, he added, unwittingly channeling Duke University chapel architect Julian Abel, and we, the scholars and builders of futures to come. An imagined future in higher education, as stated earlier, also requires preparation. But preparation, as you will soon learn in the schools of the environment, divinity, nursing, medicine, law, business, engineering, public policy, and the graduate school, means different things at different stages and endeavors of scholarly work. The types and degrees of preparation for graduate coursework are not the same as those for laboratory research, and similarly, the kinds of preliminary groundwork for legal studies is nothing like the organizational planning and systems research required for business and engineering. The shared attributes, I would conjecture, are the expectations from the graduate and professional school faculty that you will do your very best and will leverage the luxury of focusing for a period of time on your chosen area of expertise. As someone who, during my own years as a graduate student, had the backhanded title within my family of the perennial student, I totally understand both the joys of immersing one's self in their selected field of interest and the flack one receives from folks who just don't get the idea of devoting a small portion of your life to professional development and training. The key is to acknowledge how incredibly blessed you are to have this opportunity and to not apologize for your decision to temporarily pursue a life of the mind. As witnesses to the economic changes that have altered the American workforce in the 21st century, you certainly don't need me to tell you that although your graduate and professional school training will ideally prepare you to be an authority or a specialist in a particular field, a single area of knowledge in the future will not be enough. All of the forecasts for the prospective trade and industry pictures indicate that businesses and companies will be increasingly looking for employees with not only individual mastery, but people with a diverse collection of skill sets, which suggests that as graduate and professional school students, You can no longer just tunnel into a fairly narrow academic or professional area of proficiency. Rather, while in school, you should take advantage of the various related and perhaps not so related fields of study at Duke University available to you to expand your competencies, to augment your already stellar resume, and perhaps even more important, to develop your own individual interests and personal edification. How about a foreign language class, or a philosophy or history class, or a classics or acting course, or a public policy seminar, or yes, even an art history class? These are social science or humanities-centered courses that would enrich a more technological or professional portfolio by demonstrating one's ability to create, to think outside of the box, and to critically and empathetically engage with many of the pressing human problems of the day. In contrast to the senior theses and the qualifying exams of your undergraduate experience, as graduate and professional school students, you are expected to demonstrate at the end of your tenure here at Duke University a high level of scholarly achievement. For many of you, this will take the form of a dissertation. For others, this will be a substantive capstone project or some other accumulative, part written, part practicum endeavor. Because of the enormous amount of time and exceptional effort it will take to complete this major project and bring it to near perfection, I sincerely hope it will go beyond the obligatory and routine, and instead deeply and enthusiastically unveil you. Please choose a dissertation topic or develop a capstone project that, after years of conducting research and bringing it to fruition, won't make you so weary and so tired of it that it becomes an ordeal. Fostering excitement and passion around your work will sustain you in the long run and will bolster and help propel you to the final project's successful completion. Please make communities while you're here at Duke. Emphasis on the plural. Not just establishing friendships in your respective departments and living situations, but forging acquaintances and bonds beyond your immediate everyday interactions. Taking classes and meeting students and faculty outside of your home department will not only widen your intellectual and social orbit, it helps you form professional alliances and networks that might be needed later on. You cannot do graduate and professional school alone. You need a collection of folks with whom you can discuss coursework and study, with whom you can laugh and commiserate, and will both humor you and unflinchingly and with love bring you back to reality. Someone who will say, "Oh, so how is that dissertation perspective coming along, my dear?" Or, "Haven't you missed one too many seminars, bro?" And also work at staying healthy and fit. Attending classes and keeping up with all of the required readings and assignments at a desk and hunched over a computer screen does not do your body any favors. There is no excuse for not utilizing Duke's many excellent athletic facilities, swimming pools, walking trails, and intramural sports activities. You can also break up the monotony of academic labor by attending a concert, visiting an art exhibit, or walking in the Sarah B. Duke Gardens. Your brain will respond in kind with greater alertness and fresh scholarly insights. It's true. I conceived most of this convocation speech on the elliptical machine. Finally, in the midst of your graduate and professional school studies, and along with your efforts to balance a packed schedule of writing and research. Please don't forget to frequently communicate with your family and friends back home. In her freshman convocations, Maya Angelou would always say to the first-year students, "Don't squander this opportunity, and please don't worry yourself sick. You've already been paid for." What she meant by those last words about students already having been purchased was in reference to the sacrifices and outlays, educational and financial, that families and close friends had made for them, so that they, and I would add all of us, as university scholars, constituents, have the inestimable luxury of fully committing ourselves to the life of the mind. Again, we have our families and friends to thank for this lifetime expenditure on our behalf. And like the learned pioneers who forged the path that you now walk down, please use these next few years at Duke University to map your own intellectual course, but with the proviso of doing it admirably, passionately, and with the ultimate goal of contributing something of value to our society. Thank you. And now, please join me in welcoming Catherine Waugh, class of 2020, who will lead us in our alma mater, Dear Old Duke, a song that you will all soon know by heart.
Good afternoon. As you near the conclusion of your first official gathering as graduate and professional school students of Duke University, I ask you to join me in a time-honored tradition, the singing of the alma mater. Dear Old Duke, as it is now popularly known, was composed by Robert Henry James, a member of the Trinity College class of 1924. He said he was inspired to write a song that would show his gratitude and devotion to his university. I hope that the words of the alma mater will ring true for you, not only during your years at Duke, but throughout your entire lives, and that your time at this place will inspire you ever to turn indeed to dear old Duke. I will sing the alma mater through once, and then I invite you to join me in singing it. Please stand and remain standing throughout the closing procession. Congratulations and welcome to Duke. Dear old Duke, thy name will sing. To thee our voices will raise. To thee our anthems ring. you.